Can you believe the podcast went from 2,500 listens to 6,500 listens in 1 week because of your antics? Hey guys, welcome to the Sugar Cookie Marketing Podcast. This is season 1. I don't know why we have seasons, and I have no clue when it will switch to season 2. And this will be episode 8. Corrie, would you like to do introductions this week?
I'm going to go first.
Second twin, first today.
Okay, I'll take it. I am Corrie, twin number 2. And this is a podcast all about baking and marketing, mostly how to market your baking.
I see what you did there.
Thank you. I was trying to save it. Okay, on to twin number 1.
So I'm Heather Miracle. I've been in digital marketing for the better part of 10 years. I think I can start rounding it up to about 12 years now.
Are you sure you want to round? How about you round it down so it makes you look younger?
I've been doing marketing for 5 months. I was born 6 months ago. It's been a wild ride. But no, I used to flip websites, which means you build websites, get them to generate some sort of monthly income, and they sell them off to somebody else to grow them. Then I got into search engine optimization, where I kind of parked it ever since.
And then we have been in business. Heather has been lucky and in love with her favorite business partner for the past, I think, 6 years now.
You know that thing where they say don't start a business with your family?
Yeah. We both need to take her. Listen to that.
So yeah, basically we're from the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group on Facebook, which we've parked at about 15,000 members currently. It grows and fluctuates as I delete posts and people get offended. But for those diehards who are still with us, they seem to enjoy. But like Corrie said, we cover anything from marketing tactics.
Taxes.
I don't want to talk about taxes.
That's not what we're covering today.
Today is April 14th. I think they extended it to May 15th.
At least for Virginia. Please, people that weren't extended, do not listen to Heather.
I also meant to tell you, Virginia's only extended to May 1st. It's federal. It's to May 15th. Yeah, so you got about 15 days to... Okay. So anyways, what this podcast is about, we're going to start off with the intro, which you have patiently sat through already. Then the marketing minutes, where Corrie would like to talk about something really unique to Northern Virginia, dynamic pricing. And then I'd like to talk about something kind of leisurely, the Wal-Mart effect, which is horrifying when you know what it does, but I think it's a great application to pricing. After that, we have my favorite part where people call in with their voicemails to choose a twin publicly. And then we have some group stuff. And after that, 2 things that the twins find interesting. Dare I say, twinteresting.
I found one this week, so I'm excited. So let's just dive into dynamic pricing.
Okay. Take me on this wild ride.
All right. Wild ride through Nova. So Heather, I want to talk to you about dynamic pricing, but before we get into how it deals with the old baking, I want to explain to everyone listening what the express lanes are. Is that technically what they're called here?
I think we renamed them the expense lanes, but really...
I like that, though. Heather and I, if you didn't already know, we're twins, which I found out nobody knows in the group. And 2, we actually live 20 minutes outside of D.C.
20 minutes with no traffic and about 5 hours with traffic, which is where the dynamic pricing of the Lexus lanes, expense lanes, express lanes comes into play.
Exactly. So this area is so densely populated with so many people traveling into the city every day that traffic has become a part of our normal lives. Me and Heather grew up in this area, so we've sat in, I don't know, probably a half a lifetime of traffic or something at this point.
If you've driven through Virginia, I probably yelled at you. I probably said a few things behind you in traffic.
But I love when I actually visit my husband's hometown because they have like a single traffic light outside of a grocery store called the Piggly Wiggly. I don't think you can have a bad day driving past.
You can never. You'll pry Wegmans from my cold dead hands.
That's true. We got Wegmans. They can keep their Piggly Wiggly. But that's just not normal life up here. I love when Heather asks me when I'm going to be somewhere because it's either between 15 minutes or an hour and a half. There's like no chill and there's no in between.
We have to talk slower, much unlike the traffic.
Oh, sorry.
Make your voice like traffic on 95 in rush hour.
Well, we won't be going anywhere. Okay? There is, however, a choice, and if you want to sit in traffic and if you don't want to sit in traffic, and these are called the express lanes. Now, Heather, if you heard her before, called them the Lexus lanes, and that is their secret code name up here because these express lanes are similar to toll roads, which I know a lot more people are familiar with, but they actually run alongside the normal interstate, and what they provide is super interesting.
Mm-hmm.
say you start seeing traffic back up, and it's a like a 10-minute thing. It'll be. I think people gotta understand
the traffic here. The rush hours are about 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the evening.
And that's if there's no accident.
It's rush hours.
Rush hours, but no one's rushing. But it is hours. But these lanes, you can actually opt into them. You can say you can take your special little exit ramp, but these express lanes have dynamic pricing. So when you take these lanes, they are going to cost you money. And you might say, Corrie, how much is it? That's the thing. It's dynamic pricing. Heather, explain how that you do it so well. How does these lanes work?
It's really interesting. I'm actually the familial expert on express lanes and how the Easy Pass transponders work.
My dad has asked Heather to explain the express lanes no less than 72 times.
Right. So the express lanes are extremely interesting. They are kind of a newer feature. I think they opened up was it 395's express lanes were first.
Yeah, I think so.
And then they did 95 and then now 495 and now they're working on 66.
Yeah.
So all the major interstates here operate off of this express lanes, but to not come across as completely extortionary, they actually allow you to have some workarounds, which requires 3 people in your car. If there are 3 people in your car, you can ride the expense lanes for free.
Yeah. Man,
or if you're on a motorcycle.
Right. So Heather, when it's me and my son and Heather in a car, you think Heather got to get away.
We're just going to drive up and down these things. It's one of the reasons why I did get a motorcycle, because it was absolutely free to take those lanes.
True. So explain how, as traffic worsens, what happens to the price of the express lanes?
So the price increases, and everyone says that's extortion because prices are increasing as more people could be taking that lane to go home sooner. But what the express lanes promise you is that you will always maintain a higher rate of speed than the regular lanes at 65 miles per hour. And if you do not, you can actually apply for a refund.
It's insane. So as the traffic builds on the normal lanes, the dynamic pricing actually goes higher because they want to almost deter people, the majority of the people, from taking these lanes, so that the people who do choose to pay for these lanes maintain 65 miles per hour speed all the way through the express lanes till they get where they're going. So me and Heather actually met over in Tyson's last week, and I don't think she knows this, but I checked my GPS when I left her, and it was going to take me 2 hours to get home.
It should be about a 25-minute trip.
Yeah. So I said to myself, $15 are 2 hours of my life.
It's the math. It's the math. So a lot of people who commute and take the expense lanes into work, how much is an hour of your life at your job? If you're making let's say you're making $40 an hour, $60 an hour, or you're making $350 an hour, what is the $20 charge? So that's the shocking thing. When traffic gets really bad, like the day they opened 66 express lanes, it was a $45 one-way trip.
$45 one way.
Right. But which you didn't have to take it.
You do not. So as I was traveling home at my 65 miles an hour, just waving at people, like sitting in their car,
you never feel more important than you do passing
I felt like, traffic. Is this what the president feels like? I am crazy.
Elbow, wrist.
But everyone was in those normal lanes, sitting in traffic, listening to Baking It Down with Sugar Cookie Marketing. You like that plugged in too?
I do.
Doing what I can.
Greg was like, this needs to be about 2 hours long.
Yeah. So I ended up being able to get home, saving my afternoon. I am $15 worse for the wear, but it was worth it because I was able to opt it. So that's what dynamic pricing is. And you might say, how are you going to tie this into baking?
This is good. I see where you're headed.
You see where I'm going? Okay.
65 miles an hour.
We are heading there at 65. Okay. So back in Halloween of, what was last year? 2020? 2020. Oh, it feels like it's been a lifetime ago. We had someone who actually shared one of our DIY kits in a local moms group. For some odd reason, Halloween was canceled last minute. Like, so many people did not know it was canceled like 2 days before, but everyone wanted
these. As if there hadn't been a global pandemic. They did not see it coming.
Yeah, I know. I have no idea why. But everyone wanted these DIY kits to give their kids something fun to do, but they also waited to the last minute and came knocking on our door. We probably had 50 people wanting DIY kits, but we implemented dynamic pricing. Mm-hmm. This is why Heather and I do not have a static menu on our website, so that when we need to, we can increase pricing as demand goes up.
It helps that there are 2 of us running this, and Corey's calling me while I was on the side of the road in the interstate in like Ohio, saying, "Hey, can you start raising prices to curtail new orders?"
So you might be like, whoa, you guys are opting to lose orders by raising your prices. But here's the thing. Of the 50 people that reached out to us, 30 of them bought a DIY kit. With the price increase that we did for supply and demand, we ended up making as much money as if we sold to those 50 people. So I ended up doing 20 kits less of work for the exact same price. So Heather, explain how that is beneficial to both your end user and to yourself, the baker.
That's a great one, and it's one of the most secret best tools you can have in your tool shed, because you still continue to make more, but you work less. There's a point at which Corrie had too many DIY kits to create. I was out of town for her to be able to sustain this. So she had two options. She could either continue to sell and make a lot of people upset when they couldn't get it from her, or she could raise her prices and fewer people would buy until finally the price was so high that she had closed off her market. At which time she had enough that she could still maintain, and she had made more than if she had just continued to sell, and there was fewer people that were upset. Yes, there were people that said, did you just raise your prices? And we were like, yeah, we did.
I said, absolutely. But the people that were willing to pay saw the value in it. And guess who is my ideal customer? The ones who didn't buy
at that time.
At that time.
Right.
The ones who saw the value in it, who said, hey, I did not think ahead. My kid's going to be going crazy because he doesn't have any candy tomorrow. I want this DIY kit. When someone did say an objection of, hey, I think you raised the prices, I said, absolutely. This is the day before Halloween. So as my cost of ingredients goes up, as I have to run to the store, my cost per DIY kit is actually going up as well.
And a lot of people said, hey, it's not something I can afford right now. I'll come back at another time, which is absolutely fair to everybody.
Yeah. No, so that's why dynamic pricing, if it's something, probably wouldn't work for custom orders since that's just a case-by-case basis. But if you have PYOs or DIYs or pre-sales or things like that. I
think it would work well for custom kits when it's around a holiday. So you see a lot of things uptick around Easter, tons more around Christmas. Thanksgiving is huge. As you approach those holidays, you raise your prices incrementally. You won't be able to sustain. I'd rather people just say, oh, I can't afford it today, than a bunch of people say, why didn't you get it to me?
So I think what you're saying is correct when it comes to like things that are pre-made. So like pre-sales during the holidays, DIY kits, obviously.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, so definitely 100% what you say. I think custom orders, because it's so case-by-casey, like their designs and everything like that. I mean, I would say charge $100 a dozen and just call it a day. That'll show.
But you could start increasing a surcharge, so a percentage increase of your custom prices as you approach a holiday.
I absolutely like that, because you know that your time is so wanted around the holidays, especially Christmas when everyone,
People say, are you greedy? And the answer is, yes, this is not a charity. But I want you to think Wegmans, when I go to Wegmans a lot.
Wegmans is the most, for those that aren't in this area, is the most awesome grocery store chain.
Sorry, Piggly Wiggly.
Known to me. Yeah, Piggly Wiggly holds no flag to this. Wegmans is like you transport yourself, and you usually hate grocery shopping, but not when you go to the Wegs. That's what we call it.
Weggy Booze. So when I go to Weggy Booze, I go so often that I can actually see the prices of things.
Yes.
Right? Usually you just close your eyes and just grab what you want. But I have, for some odd reason, watched the price of roses. 12 roses is $20.
Try it. Yeah.
Right. But the entire week before Valentine's Day, they are $35.
They're dynamic pricing.
Why is Wegmans doing this? Does Wegmans want to sell? Wegmans is the day of Valentine's Day. They could almost price it whatever they want. If you're desperate enough, you'll pay it.
Absolutely. But that's dynamic pricing. But if I can go to this is why it works. If I can go to Wegmans, I waited to the last minute, totally forgot to get something for my husband at home. And they have the option of expensive roses that I can actually get. They're not sold out. Guess what? I am a thankful customer. Mm-hmm. Take my $1 million for your roses. Mm-hmm. Let me look like a shining star when I come home to
Don't forget to put your shopper's phone number in there to make sure that you definitely don't get any discounts.
I know. They're like, it's accepted, but you got 0% off.
You'll be paying exactly what the sticker says.
But that's why dynamic pricing is good. So as you're like, yay, I'm selling out, this will actually make the customers that maybe don't reach you in time before you sell out a little bit happier. They might pay a little bit more for it, but you're actually going to present them a service. I have the option to take the express lanes, which I did last week, and I was thankful for it. The customers that maybe have to pay a little bit more, but get to partake in your pop-ups and pre-sales and things like that, your DIY kits might love that opportunity too.
Right. The express lanes isn't sad that a bunch more people are in the regular lane sitting in traffic.
No.
The express lane says, I have the people who are in our lanes currently are very happy driving at 65 miles an hour. If you've ever seen Corrie drive, it's not 65.
It is 64, thank you. My husband's a police officer. Let's not say that I speed.
But they say, hey, we're not losing. We lose if all those people in the lane switch over to $2.
Exactly.
$2 isn't going to deter people. That's chump change.
Take my $2.
$20, that's a joke. $40, mind blown. But there's still people on the express lanes.
Yeah. So that is dynamic pricing. I thought it was a very interesting thing that maybe people can think to incorporate.
Yeah, it's how you slow down sales. And we want to slow down sales. Yes, we want to slow down sales if it is also increasing pricing.
Yeah, money.
Right.
All right, that's all I had about dynamic pricing for you there, baby girl.
So that's your marketing minute, guys. So factor in dynamic pricing, especially around holidays or when you're too busy. Just raising your prices will slow down demand. It will lower demand.
True.
And that is great. And when demand is lower, then the economy
Can
switches.
I say this? To the other side, if you're not selling out, say if Mother's Day is slow for you or something like that, and you don't have to raise your prices, it almost looks like a steal to some people who maybe had paid the big prices last time.
What do they need to do? You need to market more.
Yeah.
Before people are like, well, then are you telling us to lower our prices? There is a point at which prices can be lowered, but it should probably be the last chess piece you move.
Exactly.
You have to say you've maxed out photography, you've maxed out marketing.
Yeah, your website's literally ranking number 1.
Right. We got ads going. We got this. There's a lot of things you can actually optimize before you start de-optimizing your pricing.
True. So I agree with that.
And I know we never talk about it. There are cases when you can lower your price, but you just have to have everything else have been like, hey, I've changed everything. Everything's 100%. Still not making sales. Then you could possibly just make it the last
thing. So until then, raise your prices,
right.
And then if it doesn't work, lower your prices. Hopefully
right.
that was helpful.
You can always price test, right?
Yes, you can. Absolutely. Right.
So out of the business baking, wanted to cover the Walmart effect. Have you ever heard of that, Corrie?
I've been to a million Walmarts, but I don't know the effect.
The Walmart effect is when you fight somebody in the aisle.
That's happened many times.
I'm just kidding. The Walmart effect is interesting. I did a research paper on this in college. It is about when Walmart moves into an area. Okay, let's say a small town. Let's say, where's Nate from?
It is Big Stone Gap.
Okay, does Big Stone Gap have a Walmart?
That's about all I got.
Okay.
That and a Piggly Wiggly.
So let's say Walmart moves into Big Stone Gap where there's a bunch of mom and pop shops.
Right.
Walmart's prices are incredibly low, but Walmart doesn't stop there because it doesn't want competition. Walmart will lower its prices exponentially until the mom and pop shop, in order to compete, must lower their prices so much that in order to stay afloat, they have to also start paying their employees lower.
Well, this sounds like a sad story.
Right. So then what happens to the mom and pop shops?
They close.
And then what happens to Walmart?
They raise
back their prices, right? But the problem is oftentimes Walmart will then, being the only dog in town, will say, oh, maybe this isn't a great market for us, and close its shop, leaving Big Stone Gap with nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So that happens. That's oftentimes where you see kind of a desert town, ghost town with no grocer. Right. It's because one of those bigger stores came in and competed on price. But here's the thing. So we see a lot of people in the cookie world saying this person charges so much less than me. That is not sustainable. With Walmart, a billion-dollar corporation, they can maintain razor-thin prices because they dog everyone else down. So suppliers have to create cheaper product to sell to Walmart so they can pass that discount on to the consumer. We cannot. We are not billion-dollar cookiers. Maybe Cheryl's Berries can, but the rest of us cannot, right?
Right.
So the Walmart effect says, hey, I'm coming in, I'm going to drive out my competition, but then I cannot sustain this, so I'm going to raise back my prices again.
Okay, so tie this into my little baking business.
I'm going to say that don't worry about the person charging under you. This is not a market that can sustain that low cost because we are all dictated. You and the person charging half of what you're charging for hot cocoa bombs are buying your supplies from ideally the same place, or they're buying cheaper supplies, which means a cheaper product.
Okay, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people in the group say so-and-so down the road they're not making a profit. There's no way they can be making a profit at this price, and they're not making a profit.
Yeah, they're either selling at a loss, which will drive you out of business, or they use very cheap ingredients, which they may have a target market for that just doesn't happen to be yours. So if you want to get in the mud, was it like two pigs fighting in the mud? They'll bring you down. Some quote there.
Piggly Wiggly.
Piggly Wiggly's on the mind. When a Wegmans and a Piggly Wiggly, you get in the mud. No, but the concept is don't worry about the next guy. no one can sustain low prices, right? You just cannot sustain
Either
it.
you're going to be burnt out, you're going to be working for nothing. And that is just a recipe for someone who's going to be quitting that industry.
Right. Yeah, we're not big conglomerate corporations that can drive market forces. We are people baking in the kitchen upstairs that have to pay the electricity bill for turning on that oven. We're all dictated by the same market forces. So
I agree.
just don't lose the Walmart effect. We can't do that. You guys aren't big enough to do that to anybody else. But the guy underselling you will burn out. Yeah. Don't worry about him.
And don't race to lower your prices to be more competitive with them.
No, try to reach more people.
Yeah, that's why marketing is so important. So if you're saying like, oh, I'm not getting sales, I think I need to lower my prices. No, you need to do about 50 different things before you do that. And the biggest one is marketing. And it's not just the same stale marketing. If you are doing the same thing over and over again and your sales are decreasing, what is that telling you?
Change it up.
Change it up. You need to do a pop-up. You need to maybe look into Facebook ads. You need to email market. Hey, don't we have something coming up about email market?
Yeah, I'll mention that in a minute.
Awesome. So there's so many things to do before you just stare pricing down and start slashing numbers.
Right. And yeah, that's such a great point. I purchased myself a Coach purse.
She did. It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Beautiful. It was so overly wrapped. It was wrapped, unwrapped, unwrapped, unwrapped. And I could have just gone to Walmart, back to my boy at Walmart. Could have just gotten a purse there, right? Would have held the same amount of stuff.
Absolutely.
But what did I want?
She wanted a certain quality.
I wanted an experience. I wanted a brand name.
She wanted brand name.
I sacrificed price for all of these things.
Right. So there's people out there like Heather that's willing to sacrifice convenience and price for an experience. Cookies, whatever you bake, is a luxury item. I didn't know if you knew that.
It is not the thing that you give starving people to help them survive. No. It is the last thing they eat after they have a big meal. It is a dessert. It is a luxury good.
Right. So you're not pricing for the average Joe. You're pricing for someone who has a little bit of a disposable income.
The thing is pricing to impress. What are you doing with cookies? Rare are the times do you get an order, and I know you do, of people who just want to eat them. They're mostly giving them.
Yeah. And Heather knows I don't make cookies for people. I make cookies so Heather can give me compliments on the cookies that I make.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We actually do mostly classes and such. But Corrie likes baking the cookies for a gift for somebody to give to somebody else. If I wanted to give someone a bottom dollar gift, I go to the dollar store, get one of those dollar cards, and find some candy to stick to it.
True.
If I'm trying to impress somebody, I'm going to buy a Coach purse, right?
Yeah, and there's a little money behind that.
Right. So there you go. The Walmart effect is stop sweating people down the road. They're probably sweating themselves. They're
working. They're not. They
can't even look at you because they're trying to find them.
They are tired people.
Yeah. So that was that one. So that brings us to voicemails. Corrie, I'm going to play the first one.
Hit me with it.
Hi, Corrie and Heather. This is Sabrina, and I just got home. I got my birthday present too, and I want to say thank you.
This is my favorite voicemail ever. So Timby, who's a part of the group, she's our resident non-baker, but she's an awesome member of the group. But I had saw on Instagram that her daughter had a big old birthday. So I said, let's send her I sent her $50, but she thought she was queen of the world.
That's great. That was the best $50 you could have spent.
Yeah, so that was nice. I'm glad she appreciated it.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Here's the second.
Hi, Heather. Hi, Corrie. I just got finished listening to your podcast, Marathon Style, and I got so distracted that I burnt 2 trays of cookies, so thanks for that. My question is, I was asked to do an interview for an online regional magazine, and it just came out today. This is Monday, April the 12th. Sorry, I had to look at that. Today's Monday, April the 12th, and I would like to know, how can I capitalize on that? How can I use that to market my business more? Thanks. Bye.
I think this is a great opportunity. In the SEO world, what do we call them when I order them and they go out to everyone? What's the word I'm looking for?
Darn it.
It is really, honestly, I've been trying to think of it for the last 5 minutes. I cannot think of the word. Press release.
Yeah, press release. I was right.
You cannot laugh directly into the microphone.
I just want to make sure everyone's awake.
Oh, goodness. Phoebe woke up. My grandma's cat sleeps on the floor, and it just jolted out of its 13-year-old cat sleep.
My bad.
Okay, so we actually call this in the SE world press releases. So that means, hey, I've hit the news. I want more people to know about it. Get that name out there. You invested in the time. You got featured. Heck, I would not let this expire. The amount of your posts that reach people is very low.
Amen.
Right? So if we posted this to Facebook, we posted it to Facebook stories, we posted it to Instagram stories, Instagram reels. Let's say you guys got on TikTok, posted it there. That's still not going to be enough people to reach it. So I would say create a marketing campaign and buy it. Here's what I was featured, guys. Then say, hey, this is so nice. Tag the newspaper, tag the magazine, tag as many people as were involved to see if you can get them to share it as well.
Yeah, because then you reach that whole other audience you didn't have before.
Right. So it's really one of those ways to it's just another part of the content bucket for your for your cooker business, for your cookie business. So Corrie, I want you to explain to them what content buckets are.
Content buckets are, I know that we have one client who sends us things and he says for those slow fodder days. Content buckets are just content that's ready to go. I know we're constantly trying to make new cookies, new cookie pictures, and sometimes you feel like
you got to mix it up a little bit. So you pull out from your content bucket, and it's recommended kind of for a small business to have around 5 content buckets that you can pull from. So obviously
reviews is one.
Reviews is a good one. Cookie photos is a guaranteed one.
My favorite.
Engagement posts like memes or some of the things you see in the group, something that gets people going. These type of magazine things, I know.
Local happenings is another one.
Local happenings, it's huge. If I could go to your cookie page and find 5 things to do with my kid this weekend, you're more than just a baker to me. You're a resource.
Yeah, and that means that you have set yourself apart from your competition who's still just posting photo after photo after photo.
And also you need more content. It gets exhausting to come up with new ideas if all you're posting is a cookie photo.
Yeah, that's when you come up with those captions. Thanks, Timmy, for having another birthday.
Yeah. So the thing about content buckets, and this applies here, is create 5 content buckets. And within those buckets, 3 types of content per each. And you will not be able to run out of content because you had a lot going on there.
So Heather, when someone says, but my curated feed.
You gotta, you have the archive feature. Creating curated feeds, I applaud anyone who can do it. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of forethought and a lot of planning. And if you have enough time, can you do it? Yes. Are you going to say, I'm tired of the same content? Is my end user tired of the same content? That could happen. But you could post something else to your stories if you don't want to mess up the feed.
Absolutely.
You could do your Facebook stories. You could archive it if you like. I know Facebook's rolling that out. But yeah, it's however you want to craft this is how it's going to end up because it's your business.
And I think we're supposed to take a mindset that we're posting not for ourselves, not what we think is pretty. The odds are that someone's going to see your content in the feed and not see it in this curated, thing on your profile.
Yeah. How many times do you click to someone's profile?
It's random. And it has to be one post that literally pulls me in. But no, mostly I'm in the feed.
I'm in the feed as well, or in stories. On TikTok, I'm never clicking to people's profiles.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't even know that was a thing that you showed me.
Right. But what I would like to say is kind of keep it around a central concept. So if it is cookies, kind of keep it around cookies, bakery items, things to do in your location that are around you that's family fun. Yeah. We don't want to get into politics on a cookie page. It's just not the content that aligns with that content bucket. Unless you do controversial cookies, then by all means, just don't post it in the group.
Okay. All right. Voicemail number 3.
Okay, this was the shortest text we've ever gotten.
Okay.
Lisa from Canada in the Yukon.
Oh, I like that.
It sounds cold.
It sounds vast.
Like Balta. Anyway, she says, how do you write an About Me page, Corrie?
Okay, so a lot of people like to do About pages inwardly. But let me tell you.
Inwardly, explain to me what that means.
Inwardly, like it would be about me.
But it's an About Me page. What should I be writing?
You should be spinning it towards your end user. So that's 100% confusing. But if you just read this diatribe to me, I love my cat, I love my dog, I love my kid, it's boring for you. Mm-hmm. So what can you say to actually tie yourself into your end user? Hey, I have a dog, so if you need a dog birthday, I understand how big those is, and that is my favorite thing to create a set about. So I'm saying that I have a dog, but also am saying, hey, if you have a dog too, we can do this thing together.
Right. My kids love my creation, so I know exactly what's trending, and we can come up with a color palette that matches unicorn themes, our cars, and I'm here to help you. At the end of the day, as long as you're about me, ends up about you.
Back when I sold cars, we would review phone calls, and they would ask you to count how many times I said I versus how many times I said you. And if the I's outweighed the U's, you are going to have a little bit of an issue when it comes to sales. But if the U's outweighs the I's, I have made the sale about you.
What's your favorite topic?
Myself.
Okay. Mine too. We have something in common, except for what we talk about will be completely different.
True.
So that's a good one. So how do you make an About Me page? I like to say, if you want kind of a writing structure, there's many different writing styles that you can find online that kind of give you the prompts to create a page. But the easiest one is who, what, where, when, why. Who are you? Why do you do what you do? Where do you do it? What do you do it for? And why should I order from you? But with all the big five, if you can tie those back into why you're the best cookier for me, then we end up on my favorite topic, myself.
I love it. I have not set the timer, so we could be an hour
We're at 30 minutes.
Oh, good.
Okay, so that brings us to group stuff before Corrie checks out for her Express Lanes trip home, I guess.
Heck no.
Can you believe the twins? Oh, yeah. Corey's little challenge last week that can you believe the twins said that about a group member on the podcast.
Nice.
I just want to tell them the numbers. So when Corrie came up with this cockamamie idea, we had 2,500 downloads across 7 episodes. That was the 7th last week. In 1 week. So now this would be the 7 episodes. That went from 2,500 to 6,500.
So there has to be some marketing.
There is. We are nosy.
We are nosy. We have a fear of missing out on things.
But also, what you did is you circumvented the algorithm. So gossip, clickbait.
Tabloid.
It's clickbait. It's tabloids, paycheck stuff. What you did is circumvent the algorithm, because instead we have posted about our podcast every week for 2 weeks twice a week for 7 weeks.
Yeah.
That was extremely confusing.
Yeah, the math works out, though.
6,500. So anyways, when you posted that little challenge, what it did is it got a lot of people interested. It was funny because someone came in and said, I can't believe the twins said that. So I added an angry react.
Yeah.
And then I put in the comments, added an angry react because, I always stop to see them. And the amount of people were like, man, you got me with that angry react. I had to check it.
So I think how you could even tie this into your business is sneak peeks, giving them a little piece of the puzzle. People love to be nosy. I might not comment on things, especially in my own Facebook feed as I'm endlessly scrolling, but I will guarantee you I'm going to expand those comments and I'm going to read every single thing that's written there.
Now, you can't do 100% clickbait without exhausting your
absolutely
audience.
Not. This is the first time we did it. It will probably be the last time we did it. So,
For now.
But,
okay, you can't believe it. This client said about me. And then it's a great review.
True.
That's cute.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's just food for thought. I really liked it.
It was really successful. I know people are like, if I see one more gossip post.
Hey, I'm going to send it to
The funny thing is, even when people were like, man, this is the 20th time I've seen that. Like, I get it. People were like, there's podcasts?
People were saying, there's twins?
Who are the twins? I'm your favorite, and I've come here first. You have been claimed. But I want to talk about some upcoming lives we have, which are really awesome. I have one I have to actually make a post for. It's Instagram marketing with Courtney from Bakery Tea Company. We decided on a date. I've just been dragging my feet on getting it on the Facebook events page, but I'll do that tonight.
Okay.
We have tomorrow. Today's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Thursday, April 15th at 8 p.m. is Gina Marie Burke, How to Nail Mother's Day Pre-Sales. If you don't know what pre-sales are, if you know what pre-sales are, but you're unsure how to do them, if you've done pre-sales and you don't think they've been wildly successful, or if you're an expert at pre-sales, then you should be doing a live as well. But this is a great live to watch. She seems really excited. She's so regimented. She said, Heather, would you like a outline in a PowerPoint?
Yeah. I mean, if I don't have an outline in PowerPoint for you for mine, I'll have it the day before. So don't look at me.
I'll be working on it. Okay. The next live we have is everything you ever wanted to know about teaching sugar cookie decorating classes, and that is with Corrie.
Woo woo!
The date is Thursday, April 22nd, which is actually next week. I'm not sure we'll be doing it on location or
just in the office.
Yeah. Yeah, but we can still show them pictures and everything because I've taken many photos.
Perfect.
I'm not really sure how to do that. We'll have to think about
I don't know, maybe in the comment section.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. And then the week after that, May 6th, we'll have How to Create, Build, and Grow a Cookie Business Newsletter with Jennifer Groh. Not lost on me. Her last name is amazing for that. But it's really, honestly, every single person listening to this podcast, if you truly want to be successful, you need an email list.
And we love our email list.
It's a great way to just fill last-minute seats.
Sell DIY kits. Let them know about something that's upcoming. We don't try to exhaust ours because I want that open rate.
It should probably be a little bit more consistent.
A little bit. Sometimes you have to pull others' tooth to send one out, but
yeah, because Corey's like, make me 5 cutters. I'm going to use 0 of them. I even
I'm
made a cutter for you the other day, and I've never seen it.
Hold on.
What was it?
A pencil.
Yes. A fat pencil. And then we have a new live we've added, porch pop-ups for rural communities and small towns by Just Clapper. That'll be on May 13th at 7 p.m. Here's the thing. It's the last piece of the pop-up puzzle.
Oh, true.
First, they said we couldn't do pop-ups. Then Christy said, I'll show you how to do pop-ups. Then they said, we don't have a big following, so we still can't do pop-ups. And word of mouth Wheezy said, I'll show you how to do pop-ups with no following. Then they said, we can't do pop-ups, for we live in a small town with very low populace. And Just Clapper said, I sell pigs. I can teach them.
So by the end of this, we should all be doing pop-ups.
Yeah, basically. And I've seen that, and I've taken pop-ups, so it's really nice. Okay, this brings us to the end. We're at 35 minutes. I'm so sorry. Corey laughed into the speaker, so I can see her little voice wave. It is just at the peak. So now we're at Twinterest. Corey, what has been Twinteresting to you this week, other than drinking water from that giant gallon jug I bought you?
True, I love drinking water now. My Twinterest is how to make black royal icing super black with 0 development time. I have to make 50.
Okay, Sephora. Guys, this is Heather. Sephora called Corey and said, what if we trade you some moisturizer for them under eye bags that we're about to give you if you make 50 Sephora credit card cookies?
So I said, only for the marketing purpose behind this, because I usually don't kind of do this kind of thing. I said, for $300 worth of products, if I have the opportunity to put my contact information on the back of each Sephora credit card cookie, I will do it.
So we bought Sticker Mule, 3x3 circle stickers that should arrive here tomorrow.
And I have made 50 cookies this morning, but then these credit cards are jet black. I even told them,
I can't believe what they're going to eat.
It is going to dye your mouth black. And she's like, we'll just let people know. I said, no, you're going to be able to see it.
They'll know.
But a lot of people don't know is if you use like a royal icing already, what is it? What am I? Oh, a royal icing mix. That's black. You can add your little powdered sugar. You can add your AmeriColor black. And you add just a little bit of this mix, because it is like $5 a bag, so you don't want to go crazy, into your mix. It makes it jet black with 0 development time, and you have the blackest black in the shortest amount of time.
What are their mouths going to look like?
Their mouths are going to look like a sin. I don't know. It's going to be insane. But I am doing this to see what market we can reach. You know, people that are spending at Sephora probably want to spend money with us, maybe. So
that's great. Do you have a link to the pre-made icing mix that you can give them?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Right off Amazon.
Okay, great. Even better. I've been really into the Dalio app.
What is you just jump from app to app.
I would
just love to be on your phone.
My phone's like, this girl is locked and loaded. She knows where her mental health is and what she should be doing in her skincare routine.
She downloaded an app that tells her if she's not sleeping well.
Turns out I'm not. But the Dalio app is pretty neat. I've tried to get Corey to do it. She refuses. But I can track my mood based on an activity, which I know people are like,
I can track your mood based on your activity too.
If I'm eating, I'm happy. If Corey's talking, I'm not. No, but the Dalio app was great because I can say, hey, am I always miserable when I'm baking cookies? Okay, how can I optimize that? Is it something along with baking, or is it who I'm doing the baking for? Oh, so at Dalio, at the end of each week, month, and year, it actually gives you a, hey, here's when you're happiest, and here's what you happen to be doing at that time. And here's when you're most upset or most stressed, and here's what you recorded that you were doing at that time. And then at the end, you can say, okay, well, the things that make me happy should be in my life more, and the things that don't make me happy should be in my life less.
Are you putting me in your life less?
Sometimes you're there as like a good thing, and sometimes like Corey had such an attitude today.
Sometimes I'm hungry, people.
Sad face. And then I sneak a picture of you so I can remember what you looked like. So, anyways, that is today's podcast. That was 38 minutes. We're getting longer and longer.
Longer and longer.
Sorry, guys. But thank you so much for tuning in.